Hey guys and gals, want to do a video today basically talking about the Angry Joe and Nintendo issue, and actually it's about Rich's response, ReviewTechUSA's response to this. It kind of bugged me, not so much that he was responding to it or even calling Joe out on what he thought he was calling him out on. It was what he used, or at least the initial couple things he used, saying that Joe was... Basically, he was implying that Joe was saying that because Joe had spent $900 on Nintendo hardware and software, that gave him the right to circumvent any copyright over Nintendo. That is not what Joe is saying, and I find it pretty... I just don't understand how Rich could do that. I think Rich actually accused Joe of basically fishing for revenue and making a rant video, knowing that the first video would get taken down and then he could make a rant. And he's like, oh, I hate to be this person because people do it to me, yet he's doing it to Joe. But what I think is, Review Tech on this one did his video a rant against Joe's rant to basically cash in on the hype of this Angry Joe Nintendo feud, because it's basically been very popular. Joe's getting a lot of views on his video, and it's been on all the news sites that I know of. Basically saying, you know, Joe isn't going to do any more Nintendo stuff, and I don't think he should, because, you know, obviously Nintendo is very draconian in their copyright with gameplays, and I actually agree with Rich on this, and obviously Angry Joe and most gamer streamers, that it just ends up being extra advertisement for these companies, these game companies like Nintendo. I think it's actually going to hurt Nintendo in the future. It might not really, you know, hurt them in the negative, but it might not help them grow, or it's not going to give them any goodwill with a lot of people. So I want to be really clear that I am not necessarily upset with Rich about this. I just think that him calling out Joe, and then basically it feels like he's doing the same thing, but actually more so than Joe, where it feels like Rich wanted to cash in on this hype so much, whether it was conscious or not. He picked out something, part of Joe's video, that actually didn't even really make sense the way he represented it in his video to rant about it. I just feel like it just, I don't know, it just felt like a complete grab on the hype of that situation. And, you know, that's my opinion, and I might be wrong, but that's, if you watch both videos, it's just what it feels like. I mean, you can clearly understand that's not what Joe was saying. Joe was not saying, because I bought all this stuff, therefore I get to, you know, I get to circumvent your rights as Nintendo. Joe even says Nintendo has the right to do what they're doing. But it is, like Joe says, they're being dicks, and people don't want to deal with a company that are dicks to them, that are not gamer friendly. I mean, some people aren't going to care. Like they said, Nintendo fanboys say that Nintendo gets a pass, and that's probably true. But another issue is you got to realize that for the most part, it's a different audience. It's not the same audience as the people who are bitching about EA. A lot of Nintendo fans, or at least the diehard loyals, mostly just play Nintendo, and these are the people who will buy the same type of platformer over and over and over again. So you got to understand that. I agree with Rich that Joe should have known. You know, Joe did know. He actually said in his video, I knew this might happen. I was basically testing the waters. So basically, yes, he was setting up his own rant eventually. Maybe he was hoping that they wouldn't do it, and maybe, you know, they would say, okay, well, maybe we'll just kind of be lenient here. I don't know. But yes, he should have known. But that still doesn't circumvent his right to complain about their draconian ways about the copyright. I guess you could say he shouldn't be complaining so much about losing whatever revenue or losing that video per se, but he can complain about not being able to make any others without signing up for that stupid program Nintendo's doing with copyright. Yeah, so I guess that's really it. That's all I wanted to say, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Alright, thanks for watching.